probably heard about the artificial intelligence. You've heard about cryptocurrency. How are they merging together? What kind of synergy is involved?
A lot of the kind of cryptographic and decentralized networks now is actually powering some of the safety and security protocols for AI to verify, what is AI created or what is not. AI is only as good as the data and the instruction that you give it. So a lot of people are like, AI is going to replace us. No, it's going to be an enabler to us if we do it the right way. And that goes back to, your previous question, Matt.
Yeah.
There's a right way and a wrong way to do AI.
Government officials insist we will continue to inform as this story unfolds.
Welcome to the Money Block with Matthew J. Moore, the Bitcoin-focused program that's waking the masses to the fiat money Ponzi scheme. Money is changing, and your freedom is at stake. So stick around and learn how to empower yourself for this new digital age. Now, here's your host, Matthew J. Moore.
And welcome, America. Welcome, world. I want to welcome all of you guys to the Bitcoin-focused program. Yes, that's right. We are syndicated coast to coast on BizTV. I want to welcome all of you Bitcoin newbies, lovers, and experts. And hey, if you're in cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, well, we're going to have quite a conversation for you today. In fact, this program is all over the place. We're on TV, radio, internet. So, man, if you are watching online and you're there on your computer or your phone, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, comment, share, be a part of the conversation, because I definitely want to hear from you. It'll help us for future references. But also, I think this topic is definitely worth talking about. You probably will have things to say. You've probably heard about the artificial intelligence. You've heard about cryptocurrency. But the real question is, how do all of these things, these technologies that have really kind of come front and center over the last couple of years, how are they merging together? What kind of synergy is involved? Is there risk involved? Or is this just a total revolution that's going to change the world? Well, we're going to talk about that today with today's guest, but I'm going to just let you in on a little secret. You're going to see a QR code pop up right over here. I want you to be sure to get out your phone, scan that, and that is a free gift. It's my way of saying thank you for tuning into the show today. And it's my Amazon best-selling book, a digital copy that will give you the ideas, principles for the future that we're moving into to help you maintain your sovereignty, your liberty, and your freedom as we evolve and emerge into this digital age. So be sure to get a copy of that. It's my way of saying thank you. But I'm going to go ahead and move forward and introduce our guest today. His name is Jason Fleagle. He is a chief artificial intelligence architect who has worked with some national names, some big companies that you've probably heard before. Amazon, AWS, NVIDIA, and Cisco. Those are just to name a few. But man, Jason, it is so good to have you on the program today. I'm excited to talk about this topic. But before we do, I want to give the listeners and the viewers an idea of who you are. So if you could give them some background information in your own words, that way they kind of know, why should we be listening to this guy?
Yeah, thank you so much, Matt. And yeah, it's an honor to be here. I've been a huge fan of your show for a while now. So it's great and kind of surreal to have the opportunity to be here. So a little bit about me. I have a background actually in software engineering. I actually started in medicine. So I come from a pretty big family, 9 other siblings, but my dad's a dentist. So I grew up kind of in the medical community, thought that was going to be my path. I did my undergrad at college, actually, in biology and chemistry, and that was going to be where I thought my professional career was going to be. And just like many of you, I know, Matt, for you, it turned out not to be that case. So I actually in college I fell in love with just this idea of what we kind of call consulting. It's this idea of organizations, businesses, they have these challenges, they need someone to kind of guide them to that solution. And I didn't even realize what that was at the time. But I started doing nonprofit consulting actually while I was a freshman in college. I fell in love, with that idea of, these nonprofits were doing, these kind of social projects or impact projects. And long story short, I got accepted into medical school and dental school early, but I didn't go that path. We got to dive into that. We got to go to break. I'm sorry, this is quick, but we'll be right back and we'll talk to Jason. We'll get all the info you need. We'll be right back. This is the Money Block.
What does it mean to be physically, spiritually, and financially free? The right to life, liberty, property, and the pursuit of happiness, these were the ideas that made America. But what happens to these ideas when America's money becomes compromised? What do you do when the very thing that you're working for day after day is fundamentally designed to enslave you? Whether it was a conspiracy or not, you won't believe what is about to happen in this country. Arm yourself today with the truth and build your life on the foundations for liberty. Rediscover freedom in the 21st century and grab a copy of my Amazon best-selling book, Foundations for Liberty. For just $11.99, you can support this radio show by finding a copy on Amazon or by going to mattjmoore.com. Again, that's mattjmoore.com. Don't wait, because freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuned in at the right place and right time. This is America's Bitcoin-focused radio show and TV show. In fact, we're online. We're all over the place. So I just want to welcome all of you Bitcoin newbies and lovers because, even though we're syndicated coast to coast on BizTV, we bring you these enlightening, these empowering, these inspiring conversations that are going to help you navigate this digital future that is upon us and, in fact, is already changing the world. In fact, many of us are familiar with artificial intelligence. We may be using artificial intelligence daily, and some of us are invested into cryptocurrency, which I love to talk about, obviously, hence the name of the show, The Money Block, and the topics that we bring every single time. But today we've been talking to Jason Fleagle, who is he's a chief artificial intelligence architect who has worked with some huge names when it comes to companies and technology, AWS, Cisco, NVIDIA. These are all companies that we all know of, love, use on a regular basis. But he knows a thing or two when it comes to cryptocurrency and artificial intelligence. How are these technologies coming together and building synergy? How are they, going to change the way that we do life? How do we use these tools? But before I bring him back on to continue this conversation, I just want to let you guys know that there's going to be a QR code over there. Go ahead and scan that. It's a free gift of my digital book. It's a digital version of the Amazon best-selling book, Foundations for Liberty. But Jason, I want to bring up our conversation here. We were doing an introduction before we had to go to break here. I want you to just continue to share with our audience who you are. Give us some background information because I think it's worth knowing.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for that, Matt. Yeah, so, kind of my background, I started in science, got into consulting, doing a lot of work with nonprofits, kind of helping them do research, and then start to build their digital platforms and software around the projects that they were serving with their communities. And I fell in love with actually software engineering and actually being able to create something from nothing, which is crazy. Yeah, now with AI, you can literally tell it to do so many things. But yeah, long story short, Matt, I ended up getting on the trajectory of consulting and software engineering. So I actually got certified in software engineering and front-end and back-end development, started working with enterprise companies, some of which like Abercrombie and Fitch on their e-commerce development side of things, a lot of retail brands, because I was based in Columbus, Ohio. And for many of you who are familiar with that space, Columbus is one of the main hubs, for the Limited and Abercrombie. A lot of fashion brands are based there. And then, I started doing consulting on my own and got more in digital marketing. And then eventually with AI, 2017 was my real first foray into building artificial intelligence solutions and tools. I always used it in research because research is a really big area where a lot of AI and machine learning is done. But it wasn't until OpenAI, uncorked the bottle, so to speak, for ChatGPT with GPT-3 and 3.5, where I started making content around it and using some of the tools and technologies that they developed. And that really blew up. And I kind of became, a go-to AI leader, started working out with groups like Cisco. So I do a lot of work with Cisco. I've trained a lot of their internal leadership and some of their largest customers around the world. Amazon, AWS, a lot of nonprofit projects I'm helping to lead using artificial intelligence. And we're just kind of scratching the surface now, Matt, getting into AI agents agents and some of these new autonomous AI tools. So yeah, I'm really excited to kind of dive into that too on like blockchain connection and crypto, because I've done a number of projects in that space as well. And there is a cool connection with some of those technologies with AI and Bitcoin and crypto coming together.
Yeah, it's one that is talked often about now, seems over the last year or two in the crypto space. But as somebody who has built AI tools, has worked for some of these big companies, who's been involved in the cryptocurrency space, can you give us your big take, your 30,000-foot view of kind of the synergy between these two technologies? Where do you think all of this goes?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people, and I'm talking with executives of these Fortune 500 companies all the way to startup founders a lot of times. So it really varies, but I love hearing their perspectives. And I think kind of the consensus that I'm hearing is a lot of people assumed, Bitcoin, some of these new blockchain technologies are going to usher in a new tech revolution. And I was a big, supporter and building a lot of projects and even doing ICOs and part of, Bitcoin projects as well. And then AI came out, and AI kind of took the hype train. But now a lot of the fundamental technology and underlying technology of blockchain and what Bitcoin, again, I've got my white paper, Bitcoin white paper up here for those of you who might be listening, but I have that in my background, a huge fan of that. But a lot of the kind of cryptographic and decentralized networks that was created now is actually powering some of the safety and security protocols for AI. So it's a really amazing kind of power combo now that's coming together. I kind of use the analogy, Matt, of plumbing with the blockchain technology and the decentralized networks. That actually can serve as the underlying kind of plumbing for a lot of these AI tools. And a lot of these enterprise companies are developing, solutions like Adobe and Google. They recently launched their own cryptographic, it is a blockchain protocol to verify what is AI created or what is not, kind of getting into the deep fake side of things. Scamming, there's a lot of scammers now that are using AI to steal people's information. Well, now blockchain and some of these cryptographic technologies that, have been here since 2008, 2009 now, are able to help power that safety and security for these AI tools. So I think there's going to be more of a kind of marriage, a coming together of those two technologies. And I'm hoping that the communities are able to merge really well too, because there are a lot of different elements from the crypto space, the blockchain space, and AI that are fundamental elements, as how we interact as human beings and how we serve one another. Yeah,
I think it's important to note when you've got this massive increase in artificial intelligence in a world where people are using it ever increasingly, the importance of having these verifications, these audits, these tools to create digital scarcity is going to be married pretty well with artificial intelligence. And I find it unique that the emergence of these technologies and the popularity of these technologies have really taken off hand in hand to some extent, whether in the background or foreground, however you want to look at it. But as a guy who is in the crypto space every day and is absorbing this stuff, I think about AI, but I do have blind spots because I'm not fully focused on AI. Are the AI guys, are they kind of viewing crypto the same way, or do you think they have a bunch of blind spots?
I think they have a lot of blind spots, and potentially vice versa. I think that there's blind spots from the other perspective too. And usually it comes down to, trying not to pay attention to too much of the hype information that's out there. Because again, I'm a huge fan of Bitcoin. I'm a huge fan of some other coins as well, and blockchain networks that are being created and open source technologies. But, I have some blind spots that I see. And if you just look at, YouTube videos or things, you have a very limited, or go to Discord, channels and groups, you have a very kind of limited perspective. And same with AI. There's a lot of people, when you talk about AI, they just assume, that's ChatGPT, where that's a very just, basic kind of AI tool, a Gen AI tool. There's a lot more, kind of underneath the surface or potential there. So there's definitely some blind spots, but I always tell people, go deep by doing your own research and then actually build build things, like go experiment and do things, on your own. And that's one of the best ways to, see what works, what doesn't work. And if you don't have that capability to do it, hire a guide or an expert, or find someone who actually is capable of doing that can kind of, point you in the right direction and show you, some of those pitfalls that might happen before you go through them yourself.
Well, and when I make this show, we've got a lot of entrepreneurs and business people that will be tuning into this. But if you are on Main Street, America, and you are a small business owner, how should you be thinking about this emergence? How should you be preparing so that way you could be competitive and survive this evolution?
Well, a lot of the groups that I'm working with, one of the easiest ways to start is like accepting payments with Bitcoin or some of these other crypto, coins that are out there. That's an easy start.
Like the integration.
The integration there. And a lot of the groups that I've talked to, a lot of churches too, faith-based organizations where, here we're getting into the new year of 2026. At the end of the year, a lot of these foundations or high net worth individuals, want to give those gifts. So that's where with crypto, it's a good place to kind of take in that and, have some tax advantages there. Mm-hmm. But also on the AI side of things, there is a massive opportunity to do that, to manage, the donation process. Like, how do you engage with those donors there too? Because now AI, I like to think of it kind of as it's just a tool based on the data or the information that it has. And usually that determines, if you have your data organized or structured, okay, your AI tool or your assistant can actually perform better. Whereas if it's disorganized or not organized in the right way, you're going to have an incorrect or not performing, AI tool or assistant the way that you want. So there is, I think some low-hanging fruit opportunities for a lot of businesses on Main Street to explore, just the kind of the payment gateway integration. And then with AI, like chat bots, customer service tools are a good start.
I love it. Well, guys, we got to go to break, but we're going to dive more into this with Jason. So stay put. This is The Money Block. We'll be right back after this break. AI is here, money is changing, but freedom has never been more important. I'm Matthew J. Moore, the Money Block host on BizTV, Amazon bestseller, and Bitcoin policy advisor. Book my up to 60-minute talk, Redefining Wealth and Freedom God's Way. I'll teach your church, business, or civic group how to secure money, freedom, and faith in the digital age. This is urgent, so I'm slashing my fee from $1,000 to $500. Cover my travel, and I'm there. Scan the QR code now. Spots are filling fast. And welcome back, America. Welcome back, world. You've tuned in at the right time, right place. This is America's Bitcoin-focused program. Yes, that's right. We are on television, radio, online, and I just want to welcome you guys because you know what? Even though we're syndicated coast to coast on BizTV, I couldn't do this show if it wasn't for you guys watching. And more importantly, if you're watching online, be sure to comment, like, subscribe, share, be a part of this conversation. Let us know what you think of today's conversation, topic, guest, and you know what? And if you got questions, maybe we'll make an episode in the future answering some of those questions. And I also want to let you know that you're going to see a QR code that's going to pop up right over here. It is a free gift. It is a digital download of my Amazon best-selling book, Foundations for Liberty, and it is my way of saying thank you because these tools, these ideas, these principles, they're going to help you navigate the future in order to maintain sovereignty and freedom as we evolve into this digital age. And today's show has been exciting because we've been talking to a guest who knows a lot about artificial intelligence, the synergy that cryptocurrency and blockchain technology is going to have with the marriage of all of these two technologies, because our world is going to look vastly different here in the next couple of years. It's already looking different from it was a few years ago. So if you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, somebody who is managing teams, this conversation is going to be helpful for you to be competitive in the coming years. In fact, his name is Jason Fleagle. He's a chief AI architect, and he's worked with some of these big companies, Cisco, Amazon, NVIDIA, and we've been unpacking some of these questions about, how do we use AI? How do we incorporate some of these things? So, Jason, let's continue the conversation here. I do want to ask you about AI agents. Seems like everybody's got ChatGPT, they got Grok, they got some kind of a AI platform that they're using. They're asking questions, they're helping them with tasks, but AI agents are a little bit different, that they actually kind of do this work for you instead. So give us a picture and as far as like a local business or even a big business, how can they enhance their activities, their enterprise by using AI agents?
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. And this is a very common question now that a lot of organizations are asking, for-profit side and nonprofit side of things. So just a quick primer on AI agents. So like you said, most people know ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or Grok. That's a chat bot. So you have to manually put in, your prompt, typing out on your phone or the keyboard, and you get a response. With AI agents, though, you actually give it a goal and it will execute on that task for you autonomously. So it will go and do that work for you and then come back when it feels like it accomplishes that goal, which is kind of scary to some people. And, especially if you're first hearing this, for the first time. But there is a massive opportunity for a lot of businesses at every size to start to use these AI agents. A lot of people were saying 2025 was going to be the year of AI agents. I really believe 2026 is going to be the year of the adoption of AI agents. So a lot of the kind of common tools, Matt, from more of a startup to like a mid-size organization, like Manus is a really powerful tool. It's a basic AI agent. Meta just acquired them actually a few weeks ago. It's an amazing company. They started in Singapore and then they actually were the fastest growing startup in history for AI because of the agentic AI technologies that they were doing and developing. But essentially you can connect your Gmail, your enterprise tools, whatever it is, safely and securely in there, and then give it a task like, go look at my CRM and tell me what leads are in this pipeline stage, or I need to send these emails to these customers or leads in my group. This AI agent in Manus will actually go and do that for you. Or you need to do content creation, it will go and do that. So that's a really basic tool anyone can use, not an entrepreneur or business owner. Anyone who's doing work can actually go in there and use it. I have probably a couple hundred AI agents in Manus I use literally every day to do and automate a lot of the work I do with customers all over the world. And then getting into some of these new tools, more on the technical side, if it's an organization that wants more safety and security, because with Manus, you're still having their AI model look at all of that data. So, some organizations, I've worked with a lot of, like you mentioned, Cisco and Cisco customers, Matt, Amazon customers, they want everything very secure. So that's where we actually have to build a custom AI agent tool, actually with the hardware, the actual server in their data center, and set that up, and then have all these other kind of open source technologies and then customize it to their data. So at any size, there's a massive opportunity, for organizations to start to use these agents. But another one is Claude Code or the AI Studio from Google. And Gemini, Google has been killing it. I told people do not sleep on Google because they were the pioneers of artificial intelligence. So OpenAI with ChatGPT might have been the leader, the first mover for a while, but now they have overtaken OpenAI and ChatGPT with their performance. So there's some really good AI agent tools with AI Studio from Google Gemini too.
So, okay, well, let's talk about these companies utilizing artificial intelligence. I mean, I think I've heard you say that companies get stuck sometimes in this testing AI forever. What's going on here? Why, is this happening with smaller businesses too, or just the big businesses are like, yeah, this is a good idea, but, we just need to test it a little bit longer. Explain to me what's happening there.
Yeah, so MIT did a study that was published middle of the year of 2025, and they talked about how 95% of AI pilots are failing. And that actually scared a lot of people, and the people who are kind of like AI deniers or, refuse to use AI, they're like, see, I told you so. But when you actually look at the research and the study that they did, it was a very small group of enterprise organizations, and it was all groups that were trying to do everything themselves. themselves. So what that means is you have people kind of who don't really know what they're doing coming in and trying to build things, and then they are saying, oh, look, see, I told you it failed. In the study deeper down below from the MIT group that did the research project, it actually showed that the project, if you had a AI expert or a team that came in from an outside vendor who has a proven track record of doing AI the right way, your likelihood of success increased to above 70%. So what that means is you have a lot of these groups that are trying to do AI, they watch literally a YouTube video and say, oh, I can go and do this at our organization. And then it fails, and then they are saying, see, AI doesn't work. And as you know, Matt, same with crypto investing, like if we did the same thing, we could easily say that, oh, I tried this investment strategy, literally in an hour, didn't work. Okay, I'm not going to do it again. Like that's ridiculous, No,
it's true. So true. So true. Well, there's an element of, artificial intelligence when it comes to them getting really good at understanding human emotions. I do want to cover that. And if you're watching this, I think that'll be a good segue into our next segment here, because we've got probably about a minute before we have to go to break. But are you excited about what's happening with these companies? Give us a quick take on what you're most excited about with these companies incorporating AI agents and.
Yeah, I think we cannot forget the human element for AI. AI is only as good as the data and the instruction that you give it. And the most successful AI projects I've been a part of to help create for these groups has been the story element and the people element that we've integrated into that AI tool. So a lot of people are like, AI is going to replace us. No, it's going to be an enabler to us if we do it the right way. And that goes back to, your previous question, Matt. There's a right way and a wrong way to do AI.
Well, guys, we're going to go deeper with Jason, and I'm interested about this whole understanding human emotion. Is the future bright, or are we at risk? You guys stay tuned. This is The Money Block. We'll be right back after this break. AI is here, money is changing, but freedom has never been more important. I'm Matthew J. Moore, the Money Block host on BizTV, Amazon bestseller, and Bitcoin policy advisor. Book my up to 60-minute talk, Redefining Wealth and Freedom God's Way. I'll teach your church, business, or civic group how to secure money, freedom, and faith in the digital age. This is urgent, so I'm slashing my fee from $1,000 to $500. Cover my travel, and I'm there. Scan the QR code now. Spots are filling fast. And welcome back, world. Welcome back, America. This is segment 4, round 4 of the Money Block. And that's right. We are syndicated coast to coast on BizTV, on TV, radio, and yes, we are even streaming online. So if you are watching today's program and you're enjoying our conversation, you're enjoying the topic, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share. Be a part of that conversation, because I think your input, it really does matter, especially with the things that we're talking about today. And as a little bit of a thank you, I just want to thank you for tuning in. You're going to see a QR code that's going to pop up right over here. Be sure to get your phone out, scan that QR code. It's a gift, my way of saying thank you, and it is a free digital download of my Amazon best-selling book, Foundations for Liberty. That book, in my opinion, will give you the tools and principles, ideas that you need to be thinking about to maintain your sovereignty as we continue to progress forward into this digital age. And man, today's topic, when it comes to artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, they're all relative and they're all meaningful, because there is going to be this synergy, this marriage between the two. And what does that world really look like? Where do we go from here? Because it seems like the emergence of these technologies are colliding at the same time. And the guest today that we've had on for the entire program, Jason Fleagle, he is a AI architect who has worked with some massive companies, Cisco, NVIDIA, Amazon, to name a few. And he knows a thing or two, and he's going to give us his insights on this synergy and this emergence. But Jason, I want to pick up the conversation here, which is, at the end of the day, we're going to find ourselves in a place where we're utilizing these technologies and we're doing commerce with and these technologies are integrated into that commerce, where not only are we going to probably be paying artificial intelligence, AI agents, cryptocurrency to do tasks in the future, but they could potentially be paying us with our digital wallets using cryptocurrency to do tasks in the real world. How do you see the evolution, the economy changing with humans interacting with this truly developed artificial intelligence that's helping us in extreme ways?
Yeah, I love this question, Matt. So there's a few areas where my kind of brain goes and then what I'm actually seeing out in the field as well. So the first one, to your point on the commerce, it's literally already happening. ChatGPT launched ChatGPT Commerce, Google Gemini, a few of these other chatbots have started integrating with their AI chat systems the ability to have it go and purchase things for you on your behalf. So going to buy things on Amazon, Shopify stores, there are integrations now to do that today. In a few of the other more technologically advanced, I like to say, cultures, Singapore and Hong Kong are actively developing, and they just integrated some crypto technologies to do crypto payments in some of these AI tools and chat systems. So that's going to start to come over, in the States, the rest of the world as it gets more adopted. So that is coming, and it is going to be a daily occurrence that we're going to have, Matt. So the other piece, though, is, developing some of these technologies to actually be incentivized and get paid through crypto by doing different things. So there are a few projects actually now that, what is that saying, Matt? If there's something that's free, you are the product or something like that. So there's a different thing here with AI needs massive amounts of data to work and run effectively. And we see that in robotics and Tesla with the self-driving cars and these other self-driving car companies. But they need that data to be training that to improve the things in the future, their models. So in a human level perspective, I see a day and I see some projects working on this now where there's going to be human tasks that we will do, or we will give these AI systems and models our data and be paid in crypto for that. So imagine, going and cooking a meal in the kitchen. Well, if we record that data, we can get paid in crypto, and then that AI model company actually takes our data and they're using it to help serve other people, maybe in the robotic space, with that model. There's a dental organization I'm working with right now that they are using an AI model, a data collection process to improve dental care for dentists and robotic dentistry. But it's all done with a network, a decentralized network of all this data coming in from dental practices around the world. And those are being paid out, in cryptocurrency payments. So it is this big merging where, you can use AI tools to go and buy things for you. You can use crypto to do that, but there's also this incentive that we are actually going to be paid in crypto for doing these different tasks or sharing our data and giving access to these AI models.
Yeah, and it's a good point. And so like this is going to lead me into my next two questions, which I'm going to kind of merge together a little bit. Blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, great because it's a native technology that these AI agents and AI systems can integrate and use. But a lot of this conversation in the crypto space is also about our own data management, our own data privacy, utilizing cryptography in this peer-to-peer decentralized systems in order to, be in more control of that and decide how we want to use our data, how we want to get paid with our data, and what we, give out. So, how do you see this unfolding with the open source systems that you've mentioned, closed source systems? Because technically, we could go in two different directions. Certain aspects of the space can go in just avalanche in momentum. I'm a big fan of open source, decentralized systems, but how do you see the picture unfolding with AI? Because I would love more sovereignty, more control, and more benefits when I'm interacting with people and artificial intelligence.
Yeah. So there is a kind of two camps here, and I think there always should be two camps. And what I mean by that are, I'm a huge fan of open source as well, Matt, but usually what that means is you have to know a little bit more on the technical side and have technical expertise to take those open source technologies and then develop it to do what you need to do. The proprietary things are great, and that's why people pay those companies, is because they've done that work. And in some situations, they should own that data or control it, but give you the rights to, using that or owning it or transferring it out. Like GDPR in Europe, we've seen that with the individual has the privacy rights of their own data, not the company. And I think that's really important. But from a technology development perspective and digital freedom, I think the user should be in control of their data. I'm a huge, believer of that. And yeah, disclaimer on that, I'm not representing any companies or groups I'm working with. When I say that, that's my personal opinion. But there are a number of groups here, in especially healthcare, for example. It is so hard to go to a doctor and get them to transfer your medical record. Yeah. Like, that's a good example where blockchain technology, cryptographic technology can be used, in this case, connected to AI, to have a portable personal healthcare record on blockchain. There's a few projects I'm connected to that we're actively developing that right now. And that's amazing to leverage and take some of those blockchain technologies. But Matt, to your point, we're leveraging open source tools and having our team, some of the best in the world at what we're doing, and really customizing that based on the data. And obviously with healthcare data, we have to have it very, very secure. Like, we cannot have any gaps, any security concerns in that. So that's a good example there where we're leveraging some proprietary technology and also open source. And I think that merging is really important to have that. But it's like, it's a tool. It's available to us. Let's take that open source technology and then customize it, based on our needs. Same thing with crypto investing. There's some awesome open source tools out there. But yeah, like, make sure you customize it and test it and verify it, before you're actually going to full production or, something like that. I'm a huge fan of Renaissance Technology and Jim Simons, a mathematician who developed these trading models. Same, models can actually be applied in crypto trading too. But he spent 20 years developing, the process there. Yeah. Now, we don't have to do that today, but it's this trust and verify process is important.
So, with about a minute left, is this the end of our careers? Are we entering a Skynet moment? Are the Terminators coming?
Yeah, that's a very common question I get all the time, Matt. No. So, I think we're starting to see it. LinkedIn was just publishing some articles the last few days here at the time of the recording. But yeah, we are not going to be replaced. Now, there is going to be some displacement and some change that is going to happen. But as long as you are staying in tune with what's happening in AI and testing, and again, going back to what I just said, trust and verify, build things, find out what works and what doesn't, because those are going to be the people that companies, if you have a job, you're going to be dependent on, because you understand how to leverage AI as a tool, not as a replacement.
Well, yeah, and they probably need a guide or a mentor or a tour guide. I mean, where can they find you and get plugged in with you? Because I'm sure you could be helpful to a lot of people navigating this.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Matt. Yeah, I do a lot of executive workshops, AI workshops all around the world. I have a lot of tutorials. I have a book that's launching here, The Ultimate AI Blueprint. But yeah, my website, Matt, thejasonfleagle.com is the best place to get access to, the book, learn more about some of these AI workshops, a lot of the content, case studies, examples, where other people can see what are successful outcomes for, healthcare or nonprofit space, or I'm a, home service company. How do I leverage AI? There's a lot of really good resources on there. And my YouTube channel, has a lot of tutorials.
I love it. Well, guys, if you're worried about the future, or maybe you want to incorporate this into your business, reach out to Jason. He'll help you out. All right, guys, we'll be right back. This is the Money Block. See you in a minute. AI is here. Money is changing, but freedom has never been more important. I'm Matthew J. Moore, the Money Block host on BizTV, Amazon bestseller, and Bitcoin policy advisor. Book my up to 60-minute talk, Redefining Wealth and Freedom God's Way. I'll teach your church, business, or civic group how to secure money, freedom, and faith in the digital age. This is urgent, so I'm slashing my fee from $1,000 to $500. Cover my travel, and I'm there. Scan the QR code now. Spots are filling fast. What does it mean to be physically, spiritually, and financially free? The right to life, liberty, property, and the pursuit of happiness, these were the ideas that made America. But what happens to these ideas when America's money becomes compromised? What do you do when the very thing that you're working for day after day is fundamentally designed to enslave you? Whether it was a conspiracy or not, you won't believe what is about to happen in this country. Arm yourself today with the truth and build your life on the foundations for liberty. Rediscover freedom in the 21st century and grab a copy of my Amazon best-selling book, Foundations for Liberty. For just $11.99, you can support this radio show by finding a copy on Amazon or by going to mattjmoore.com. Again, that's mattjmoore.com. Don't wait, because freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. And welcome back, America. Welcome back, world. This is round 5, segment 5 of the Money Block, our final segment. So thank you guys for watching and tuning in because this conversation has been absolutely enjoyable. It's been enlightening. And the gentleman that we've been talking to the entire time, his name is Jason Fleagle. He is a chief AI architect who has worked with some of the largest companies in the space when it comes to this technology. You know, Amazon, Cisco, NVIDIA, the list goes on, but he is explaining to us this synergy between blockchain technology, crypto, AI. How does the future look? But before we dive back in and bring him on, I just want to remind you guys that you're going to see a QR code right over here. Be sure to scan that. That is a free gift. It is a digital download of my Amazon best-selling book, Foundations for Liberty. My way of saying thank you for tuning in. But Jason, I want to carry on the conversation here, and let's revisit this topic here. During the show, we've talked about AI agents, what the future looks like as far as the evolution of utilizing this technology to do work for us. Companies who have been playing and piloting AI, but often get stuck because they just don't know what they're doing or they do it the wrong way. What is your secret sauce? What's your take on success moving forward in the AI space and business?
Yeah. Thank you for that, Matt. Yeah, and I see this every day. A lot of organizations are what's my checklist? What do I need to do to make this a success and not fail? And it's very, very simple, just 3 steps. Discover, scale, and then discover, prove, and then scale. So those are the 3 steps I usually use. And I walk through this actually in a lot of AI workshops all across the globe. But with Discover, you want to identify what are some of those challenge areas or problems that you face on a daily basis. Take stock of that and then identify where AI might be able to help solve it. Then with proving, that's where you really want to pilot, but do a smaller controlled experiment. So a lot of these enterprise groups, that we're talking millions and millions of dollars. For a small to medium-sized business, this might be $25,000, $50,000 to do a pilot. It's not a lot of money, but you can, take that risk and identify, is this going to be, successful for ROI for my finances? Is this going to save me time? Is this going to help our people? When you do that controlled environment, controlled experiment, you can see what works and what doesn't. And then that third phase is really scaling. You just scale up or spend more based on that investment because you found out what works. That's one of the reasons, of the, I think, over 200 AI projects I've worked with organizations now at this point. Like you said, all around the world, Cisco, some of these different groups. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why their projects are still successful today is, we went through that kind of detailed 3-step process, and we didn't spend millions of dollars or whatever it was early on and then lose all of that. We started small, proved out that it could work, and then scaled from there.
So can people hire you? Can they learn from you? How can they get plugged in and utilize your skill sets and your knowledge?
Oh, yeah, thank you for that, Matt. I appreciate that. Yeah, so there's actually a lot of these AI workshops that I put on globally. So I do that, yeah, with a lot of these companies like Cisco internally and some of their customers. IBM, NTT Data, Presidio, Worldwide Technology, a lot of those different groups. I train them and their teams on AI, which is really cool. I feel really blessed and humbled for that. But yeah, my website, thejasonfleagle.com, there's a few other more affordable AI workshops I like to do, for startups, small businesses who don't want to pay, whatever that crazy fee is
right.
to do those large AI workshops, because I want to help, people in that capacity level up with AI. And then, on my website, if you want to reach out to me, and then I have a global team, depending on if you're an enterprise company, a really large global organization, team of a couple hundred around the world that I usually bring in to build out some of these AI projects. And then we still do some more, startup and small to mid-size, budget levels. So really can serve anyone at any level. And I'd recommend checking out my YouTube channel, which is linked on my website. And I have a lot of tutorials there on how to use AI for sales and marketing and growth and, operations. There's a lot of really good resources on that. And then my AI newsletter I have, linked on my website as well. But I try to do a article every day on, what's happening with AI. What do you need to know about it as a business owner? So I highly recommend checking that out as well. It's called AI Pathfinder.
So we got a couple minutes. Before we got to close out the show. But we've talked a lot about using AI. We've talked about crypto and its relation to AI. We've talked about the scary possible future that people fear all the time, whether losing their career or the Skynet moment. With a couple of minutes left in this show, is there any area that you want to address even deeper that maybe we didn't cover?
Yeah, I think getting back to something I said earlier, Matt, the human element is a really key area to focus on. So a lot of people think, we need to focus on the technology with AI. But what people don't realize is we've kind of actually maxed out the capabilities of these AI models. What is holding us back actually to do more with AI is actually us as people. Now, not from we need to remove people perspective, like, you're mentioning Skynet, but it's actually how do we enable us as human beings to be better workers, better leaders? So it actually comes back to like our standard operating protocols, our SOPs, and the processes and systems that we use to do the work that we do. If you actually feed AI into, these different tools or technologies, these AI models with your protocols, your processes, your systems, the data is organized, I am seeing massive success compared to other organizations that don't have their data organized or they don't have processes. You would think that a lot of these big tech companies know what they're doing behind the scenes, but I can tell you, no, it's the same at every level, of startups to these large, major organizations, and it comes down to balancing people, process, and then your technology. The technology is only one part of AI. So a lot of people miss that, when we talk about AI, that I end up working with these groups and we have to solve some people problems first and the process before we even work on, integrating the technology. Healthcare is one of the biggest areas that we see that we have to work on coordinating and organizing things, bringing people together with their leadership teams, and then we can be successful at integrating AI the right way. So people are the fundamental element of, yes, everything, but especially with AI and more AI adoption as we go forward into the future.
One more time, how can people find you, your website?
Yeah, thank you, Matt. Yeah, thejasonfleagle.com. Best place to connect with me. I've got a contact form there, and a lot of my resources are on that website.
I love it. Man, you've been such a great conversation. Good resource that people need to go check out. And guys, it's all the time we have for today's show. Hopefully you learned a lot. But tune in next time. We'll be here at the same time, same place. This is The Money Block. Adios.
The opinions and suggestions expressed on this program are solely those of the participants and are not necessarily endorsed by program sponsors or any station, media company, or platform broadcasting this program. This program is a product of Moore Media, LLC. The information in this broadcast is not intended as investment, tax, or financial advice. Matthew Moore is not a licensed investment advisor and speaks solely from his experience and opinions. All information in this broadcast is for entertainment or educational purposes only. Matthew Moore, Moore Media, LLC, and the company or platform broadcasting this program is not responsible for the success or failure of any person's investment decisions or purchases. Matthew Moore, Moore Media, LLC, and the company or platform broadcasting this program makes no and expressly disclaims all representations, warranties, and guarantees with respect to this broadcast and its sponsors. Investing in any market is inherently risky and can be financially dangerous. Invest at your own risk.